Hello again and welcome to this second Shed Talk video for October. And in this video, as the title suggests, we're going to have a look at the type of breeding cage and my setup for the breeding cages for the Budgerigars. I've literally just looking at got pair 5 ready to go. And while I was doing that, it just so happened at the same time I was getting a bird out of one of the nursery cages. It happens to be the son of the cock that is in this, so I thought it gave us an opportunity to look at the cock bird and the offspring that he produced last time round, and hopefully we'll see if he can produce something as good, if not better, than the blue cock bird that we're going to have a look at. So I'll compare the two, you can have a quick look at those. For those of you that watched previous videos will know that about 2, maybe 3 videos ago, we offered the opportunity for you to choose the hen for pair, my pair 4 cockbird, and right at the very end of this video we'll have a chance to, or unveil the winner of that, your choice I suppose. So which hen got chosen by you for that cockbird? As always, if you enjoyed the video, please do like it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want early notifications of future videos coming up. Once again, thank you, and we'll go on with the video. So just a quick look at pair 5, cockbird on the left, seen him before, and the hen that I've chosen for him is the other of the dark green cinnamon hens with the slightly poor neck carriage, although actually these two birds aren't related at all. Cockbird's becoming a bit over energetic in there, that's a good sign. So as I say, not related at all, although because the hen is quite closely bred, there is a breeding coefficient or inbreeding coefficient of about exactly 12.5%. So that's the pair 5. I'm just going to show you one of the youngsters, this year's youngsters of the cockbird, because as it just so happened I was just moving the cockbird, the youngster, into the main flight, so I thought while I had him out in the cage I'd show you him. Whilst he doesn't quite have the all of the feather of the cockbird you're looking at here, he's actually a really nice blue, and still got quite a bit of growing to do. So I'm hoping that with that bit of growing, he'll turn out to be almost as good as his dad. So yeah, so let's have a look at his son. And this is the son of that cockbird that's about to go in as pair 5. I'm reasonably pleased with this bird. It's one of my better blues in all honesty. I don't have that many decent normal blues. He's a really nice big bird and is literally just turned 6 months old, so still got quite a bit of growing to do. Great width between the eyes from my point of view, reasonable depth of mask. Could do with standing a little bit better on the perch, but I can live with that at the moment. Yeah, just a genuinely big and nice looking blue. So as I say, that's the son of the cockbird we just saw that's about to go in as pair 5. So just going to pop this one back in the main flight now he's 6 months old. These are the breeding cages that I use, all wire cages. I have used wooden cages as well, and in all honesty I've not found any real difference in terms of them breeding. The only reason why I use all wire cages is because they're easier to keep clean really, and also at the end of the breeding season, if you really want to, you can fold them away much easier than you can do with wooden breeding cages. Each breeding cage is 60 centimetres in length and about 40 centimetres in depth, so quite a big cage for the Budgerigars. There are 2 perches, They're round plastic perches, and I know some people don't like the idea of using plastic perches and would have probably changed those to wood. I've never had a problem with plastic perches hurting the bird's feet, as some people have, so I leave them as plastic. Maybe just that I've been lucky that the birds haven't had a problem with them. They're quite large in diameter, the perches, so it gives the hen plenty to grip on during treading, and they're reasonably stable in there as well. The cage front has a large main door at the front. Ideal for budgerigars. It means you can get your hand in, catch any of the birds that are in there, particularly when you're checking the youngsters out. Also means I can put easy access to the soft food tray. I'll talk a bit about the soft food in a future video that I use in a future video if you would like me to, but it's a relatively simple mix for me, mainly because of the time that I've got. Also in there is a tonic seed. The soft food and the tonic seed, and in fact everything, gets changed daily. So the tonic seed is just there to give them a bit of a boost whilst they're breeding. Some of the birds take it straight away and enjoy it and go for it first, others don't. So it's just a mixture, I suppose. And then the main seed that I put in there is just a normal Budgerigar breeders mix. There are two places for seed hoppers to go, or seed feeders to go. I only use this side, and I'll explain why that in a second. I've never had a problem with the hoppers. As I say, I change it every day, so any loose husk that's left in there is removed. I only use this one side. It tends to be far enough away for the perch for it not to be fouled, although as always when the hens are getting ready to lay in the big poops, there's always a risk that it will do. I sometimes think it's just where the hen sits on the seed hopper rather than it being where she sat on the perch, and it depends how messy the hen is. And now I have the other thing that I put in here is a mixture of mineral grit and charcoal. I know some people feed grit, others don't. I've always fed grit. Whether it does them any good, don't know. I know some people say that the budgerigars don't need it. Some of the hens seem to take to it straight away, and they'll clear it all out. Others will just spend their whole time trying to get the dish off and chuck it all over the floor. But I suppose that's just hens for you. It's got a plastic tray that makes it very easy for cleaning, and any of the soft food that they chuck out won't be left on the cage floor. It will sink straight through, so less chance of the birds picking up contaminated food, and likewise with the husks and the main seed. I know some people don't like all wire floors for breeding cages, particularly when the youngsters first fledge and they're sat on it. Again, I've never had a problem with it, but I know some people would prefer them to have a flat cage floor. I suppose there's pros and cons. Wire cage floor, the youngsters aren't going to pick up any fouled soft food, but it may interfere with their legs. With a hard cage floor, the youngsters will find it easier to walk around, but there's a risk that they can pick up contaminated seed or contaminated food. Sorry. So, like I say, I've not had any problem. When the chicks have fledged anyway, I tend to put a chick hide in there, like most people, and that has a flat bottom. So if they're really struggling, they'll spend their whole time in there rather than on the cage floor. Although, as I say before, most of the chicks, I've not had a problem with them on the cage floor. On the top corner here, there's a opening where the where the nest box will go. External nest boxes is what I use. I tend to get some hooks, so they just hook over the outside of that, and that works fine for me. So that's the all-wire breeding cages that I use. I'll just show you the type of nest box that I use now. So nest box that I'm using is a standard, I suppose, what most people use, a box-in-box type nest box. When they're opened up so the hen can gain access, they look like this one here. When they are closed, so the hen can't get access to the nest box, they look like this one here. I'm actually about to open this nest box up, so as I'm doing that I'll show you the inside of the nest box and what I do in order to prepare it for the hen on opening it. So here's the internal bit of the box-in-box type. So this is the in bit of the box, and where the hen will obviously lay her eggs. It's around about 20 centimeters in depth, and in width it's about 13 centimeters. Using box-in-box just means it's easy to get it out, and you can obviously check eggs and check youngsters away from the actual cage. Once it's out, I don't find that the hen comes flapping around the shed. She'll normally stay out either until you put the box back in, or occasionally she'll pop her head in and have a look, but I've never known them come right out. But you know, just guaranteed that this year one of them's going to. In order to prepare it at the beginning of the year, obviously it gets scrubbed and disinfected and all the rest of that, and I put some of this sort of talcum powdery type stuff. I think it's called Diamantis earth or something like that. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Fair bit of that in there. It's supposed to be a natural way of getting rid of mite, and I just make sure that I use a brush to brush it into all the edges. It obviously then will mix while it's in there with the bedding material that I put in, and it's safe for the birds to eat. In fact, some people I know put a dish of it in the cage for their birds to nibble at, and as it goes through it can clear out any internal parasites as well, as I understand it. So that's the basic nest box that I use. What I then do is I don't use concaves, never have done. I know lots of people swear by concaves. I've never used them, and I've never had a problem with, overly a problem with adult eggs being rolled around or whatever. So what I do use is I fill the box with a bedding material, and that bedding material that I use, historically I've just used the bedding material that I get from local supermarket, or pet site bedding, wood chipping type of fare. I've just moved over to using the gold chip bedding, I think it is, easy bedding. Literally a couple of weeks ago I bought a big bag of it because it worked out cheaper and it was easy to get hold of. So it's a bit thinner or a bit smaller in scale than what I'd normally use, so I'll just get some out and I'll pop it in the nest box, and we'll have a look at it. So here we are. This is the bedding that I use for inside the nest box. It's actually very nice. It's a bit light. I use it in the flight as well, and I find that it is a little bit light. It does blow around a little bit, but no more than the other stuff that I was using, so that's not really a problem. I feel the nest box inner actually quite deep, and I know, so you'll hear some people saying it's not worth it, and others will swear by it. I do it because where I first got my birds from, when I first got back into breeding, the breeder that I got them from, that's what they did, and it was what the birds were used to when they were breeding, so I thought I'd just carry that on. Not really had any major problem with that. It does, from my point of view, it does two things. Firstly, it stops the hen from just going straight into the box and just sitting in there. What she will tend to do is go in, try clearing some of it out, and then come back out again, and this means she has more contact with the cockbird. So I sometimes find a hen that clears it out quite quickly will then just sit in the nest box rather than come out, and then you end up with they're laying eggs and then without the cock having a chance to fertilise them. When she does clean it out, I can see that she's been in there because there's this stuff is all over the bottom of the cage, so there's a little bit of wastage for it. So I can see that she's actually been in there, so it lets me know that the hen's been in the nest box as well. Occasionally, and I've had probably ever since I've been doing this, I can count it on one hand the number of times this happens. A hen won't bother clearing it, and then she'll make a little dent, and then she'll just lay on top of it. And there is a risk that she'll push the egg down underneath it and lose it. And once you can't see it, she won't sit on it. She'll come back off it again. So if I find a hen is laying and there's still quite a lot of the bedding material in there, what I will do is take the bedding out, leave a small layer at the bottom, and then put the egg back in so the egg can't get hidden by it. Never known the hen one complain too much about that, so she'll come back in and sit straight back on it. So that's the internal bit of the nest box. I'm going to just put this into pair 3 now, so the hen from pair 3 can start exploring it. So there you go, that's cage 3 all set up and ready to go. Cock and the hen sat together in the back of there. So we'll just see, hopefully the hen will make a decision to start to go in there. All of the other, so in terms of the other pairs, so pair 2, as I say, they're getting on reasonably well, this particular pair. At the moment, hen's been in the nest box and started to clear it out. And then pair 1 on the far end there. Hen and the cock not necessarily showing the greatest of interest, but the hen's showing a lot of interest in the nest box. So I'm hoping that they're showing more interest when I'm not in here, which is often the case. So that's all the breeding cages set up. What I just need to do now, or the first 3 breeding cages set up, is I'll drop pair 5 into their breeding cages. And then once we've done that, we can unveil your choice of pair 4. So just a very quick look at pair 5, and we've got the cockbird, which is the cobalt on the left, and the hen is the grey dominant pied on the right. There were a couple of birds that came out, a couple of cockbirds that came out above this cobalt, but unfortunately they're still a little bit too young to breed, so I thought I'd pop them in the breeding cage, give them a round, see what they produce, and then if nothing comes of it, I can free up the breeding cage for one of the better cocks later on. So that's going to be my pair 5. So 0% inbreeding coefficient for this pair, so there's no relationship between them at all. Time to reveal pair 4 then. So, and the hen that you chose for this cinnamon green cockbird, and the winner was the grey. It was relatively close, and thanks everybody for commenting on the birds, particularly those who said why they would have chosen each of the 2 birds. As it just so happens, this grey is literally, I think, just coming into condition, so should be quite useful, I hope. Let's see how it goes then. We'll follow this particular pair right through to the end. I'll just pan out so you can see both birds together. So there we are, cock and the hen together. I shall pop those into cage 4, see how they get on. with all 6 pairs now paired up. That's just about all we've got time for this last video in October. Next month, normally in November, I'd be thinking about the Oxford 1910 main annual show, but of course this year all the shows, certainly here in the UK, have been cancelled, at least the vast majority of them, so no show for Oxford 1910 in November. This does of course give me more time to spend in the bird room, so until then, please stay safe and enjoy your birds.